Hello students, good evening everyone. I hope all are doing well. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Educational Institutions. So as we already know, Sri Chaitanya Academy is providing a super opportunity of examination, that is a national level of examination, score examination. So let us see what is the meaning of score, what is the exact idea of the score, right? So score is the national level of examination conducted by the Sri Chaitanya Academy. Exam will be conducted for the students from grade 3 to 12. It will be conducted either in online or the offline mode. Exam date will be on first time, it will be on the September 28th. After that, there will be another examination on the October 12 also. Our aim is to identify and reward the academic talent to the all India level. Ready? So here we are focusing about some of the questions from the grade 9 only, which is applicable for the score examination. So first let us see what is the exam pattern for the grade 9 here. I hope you can see this slide over here. This is the exam pattern for the score examination for the grade 9 class or the 9 class. As you can see over here, this is the foundation test. Exam duration is 120 minutes. And the question type is multiple choice question. So as you can see, here it is including mental ability. You can expect 25 questions from the mental ability and 20 questions from maths and 15 questions from physics, 15 questions from chemistry and 15 questions from biology. As total, you can expect 45 questions from the science paper. Now let us focus mainly on the chemistry over here. This is our exam syllabus. As you can see over here, this is the matter in our surrounding, our first chapter. Then the is matter, ionosphere and atoms and molecules. You can expect more questions from these three chapters in the grade 9 chemistry. Now let us see the questions one by one. The previous year questions which is asked for the score examination for the grade 9. Here is our first question. Read the question carefully. Those who are watching the live, just give me the answer in the comments. Which substance is pure in nature? Options are given here: gunpowder, ammonia, brass and ghee. So in the second chapter, if the matter is around pure, we have already studied the classification of substance, pure substance, right? Pure substance and mixture. So here the question is based on the chapter. So what will be the answer for the question? So option B will be the correct answer here. So when you are comparing about the gunpowder, as we already know, it is a mixture of sulfur and charcoal and some other amount will be containing potassium nitrate, right? So this is not a pure substance, this is a mixture of these components here. So gunpowder will not be considered as a pure substance over here. Then what about the case of brass? As we already know, it is the alloy of copper and zinc. Then in the case of ghee also, there will be containing some other fats over there. So that's why these are not considered as the pure substance over here. But in the case of ammonia, as you can see over here, it will be containing pure ammonia molecules, right? So this will be the example for the pure substance for this question. So I hope the question is clear to everyone. Now we are moving to the second question. The question is little bit lengthy. Give the correct order of initials. T stands for true, F stands for false over here. Different statements are given here. We just want to identify whether these statements are true or false. So read the options one by one. Question is purely based on the classification or the difference between the colloidal solutions and the true solutions. The first statement is given: the colloidal solution scatter light whereas true solution does not. And the second statement is given here: colloidal solution is a homogeneous mixture. Third one: the solute particles settle down when a solution is left undisturbed in case of colloidal solution. And the last one: colloids cannot be separated by filtration. Yes, option A is the correct answer, right? So TFFT, which means the first statement is true itself. As we already know, we have already studied the Tyndall effect, right? So whenever we are taking the colloid solution, it will easily scatter the light because of the presence of the Tyndall effect over there. But in the case of true solution, Tyndall effect is not possible, right? So this is a true. So we will be given the initial as T over here. Then what about the second statement? Colloidal solution is a homogeneous mixture. As we already know, we have already seen the classification of mixtures into homogeneous and heterogeneous, right? But in the case of colloidal solution, as we already know, these are heterogeneous in nature, not homogeneous, right? So this is a false statement. Then what about the case of the third statement? The solute particles settle down when a solution is left undisturbed in case of colloidal solution. It is again false statement. As we already know, due to the Brownian motion, there will not be any settle down happening. So this is again false statement. Then what about the last one? Colloids cannot be separated by filtration will be the true statement. So the final answer will be option A. Can we move to the next question? Here is our next question. Question is from the chapter Atoms and Molecules. The formula of a sulfate of a metal is given here, M2SO4 tries. We just want to identify the formula of the phosphate of the same metal M. So what will be the answer for this question? How we can find out the formula of different compound? Please mark your attendance in the comments. Please mark your answers in the comments. Okay, is there anyone got the answer as option D? So what we need to do first, as we already know the chemical formula of the first compound, right? So from that we can identify the valency of the metal M over here. So how we can write down the chemical formula of any compound? So first one we need to identify the cation, then write down their valencies, then anion, then their valencies. So as you can compare over here, whenever we are writing the chemical formula of any of the molecules, we will be crisscrossing the valencies of cations and anions. For example, here it is M2SO4 tries, which is understood that 2 will be the valency of metal and 3 will be the valency of SO4 here, right? So SO4, as we all know, sulfate ion will be having the valency of 2 minus. So SO4 will be having the valency 2 over here. And it is understood when we are crisscrossing the valencies, it is understood that valency of the metal will be 3 over here. That's why they are forming the chemical formula as M2SO4 tries. Now in order to find out the chemical formula of the phosphate of the same metal, what we need to do? We are taking the same metal, valency will be 3 over here. What is the valency of phosphate? Phosphate is PO4 3 minus, right? So again 3. If you are crisscrossing here, it will be forming M3PO4 tries, or simply we can write it as, it will be 1:1, right? So it will be MPO4. Is there any doubt? From the given chemical formula, we need to identify the valency of the metal. Then we can give the chemical formula of the phosphate of the same metal by crisscrossing the valencies. So option D will be the correct answer here. Okay, now we are moving to the next question. Match the following. Options are not provided here. The first column, they have already given the examples for the some of the process, and second column they have given some of the process like solidification, sublimation and condensation and evaporation. For example, if I'm taking the first process in the column 1, formation of clouds. Okay, I hope I'm audible, right? Is there any issues? So what about the case of formation of clouds? Which process will be suitable for the formation of clouds, whether it is solidification, sublimation, condensation or evaporation? Yes, R, right, which means formation of clouds will be the process of condensation. Then what about the case of formation of ice from water? Liquid to gas phase, right? Okay, liquid to solid phase. Formation of ice from water. Water is in the liquid state, ice is in the solid state. So what will be the process called? It will be solidification, right? So 2 will goes with P over here. Then what about the case of third one? Drying of wet cloths. So a daily life example, right? Drying of wet cloths as a part of the evaporation. Then naphthalene bolts means sublimation. The direct conversion of solid substance into the gaseous or vapor phase is known as a sublimation. So what will be our final answer? 1 belongs to R, 2 will goes with P, 3 will goes with S and 4 will goes with Q. Is that clear? Yes, 4 will goes with Q, sublimation. Now we are moving to our next question. So the next question is based on the factors affecting the evaporation. We have already seen. Which of the following does not affect the rate of evaporation? Read the question carefully. Which of the following does not affect the rate of evaporation? Options are given here: wind speed, surface area, temperature and insoluble heavy impurities. Okay, let's see what is the answer. So option D will be the correct answer here. So as we already know, when the wind speed increases, right, it is directly proportional to the rate of evaporation. And if the surface area increases, it is again proportional to the rate of evaporation, right? And temperature is also again proportional to the rate of evaporation, which means that all the three factors are directly proportional to the rate of evaporation. Renu Sharma, I hope it is clear, right? Surface area is already depending upon the evaporation. But if you are asking about the case of insoluble heavy impurities, for example, if you are taking sand or pebbles in the case of water, it does not affect the rate of evaporation. I hope you understand. Now we are moving to the next question. There is a small numerical problem. You need to do the small calculations over here. Calculate the number of aluminium atoms present in 0.51 gram of aluminium oxide. Again, the question is from the atoms and molecules. First, you need to identify the chemical formula of the aluminium oxide, then find out the number of moles over there, then multiply with the Avogadro number and the total number of atoms present in the 1 mole of the aluminium oxide. So while calculating, you will get the answer as option B. Let's see how to solve the problem. So what is the chemical formula of aluminium oxide? Aluminium oxide means aluminum will be the cation. Oxygen will be the anion. Aluminum will be having the valency of 3 and oxygen will be having the valency of 2. Crisscross the valencies, you will get the chemical formula. So it will be Al2O3. Now we need to identify the total molecular mass of the Al2O3 in order to find out the number of moles. So if I am taking here, as we already know in the case of 1 aluminum, it will be having 27 gram, right? Then 2 into 27 plus 3 into 16. If you are solving here, you will get 102 gram per mole will be the molecular mass of the aluminum oxide, right? Now let us find out the number of moles of aluminum oxide. Number of moles of aluminum oxide. How we can find out? The given mass divided by total molecular mass. So given mass is given here, it is 0.51. 0.51 divided by 102 is equal to 0.005. So this will be the number of moles of Al2O3 present in 0.51 gram of the Al2O3. Now we need to identify the total number of atoms. Total number of aluminum atoms, right? So what is the total number of aluminum atoms in 1 mole of aluminum oxide? It will be 2 over here, right? So I am multiplying here 2 into 2 is the number of aluminum atoms present in the Al2O3. Then what is the total number of moles? 0.005, right? So 0.005 into Avogadro number. 1 mole of substance contain always Avogadro number of molecules. Here it will be atoms. So 6.02 into 10 to the power 23. If you are solving here, you will get the answer is equal to 6.02 into 10 to the power 21. Is that clear? Just try to solve by yourself. You will be getting the answer is equal to 0.01 over here. If you are multiplying here, it will become 21 to the power 21. Okay, I hope you understand. Now we are moving to the next question. So this type of question is very important. Small numerical calculation. Okay, why multiply with the 2, right? So what is our question? We need to identify the number of aluminum atoms. Number of aluminum atoms, right? So as we already know, in the case of aluminum oxide, Al2O3, it is containing 2 aluminum atoms, right? 2 aluminum atoms. That's why we are multiplying with 2 over here. Is that clear? Okay, I hope you understand. Here is our next question. Consider the following quantities and identify the correct options given here. Hi Hiba, good evening. So some of the quantities are given here. One is mass number, other one is average mass of carbon atom in AMU, and the charge of nucleus in coulomb, atomic mass of one atom of carbon-12 in grams. Now choose the correct options, whether we need to identify whether these quantities are whole numbers or not. So I hope you got the answer as option A over here. So if you compare the mass number as we already know is the total number of nucleons, total number of neutrons and protons present inside the nucleus. So if you are taking the total number of neutrons and the protons in the nucleus, it will be always an whole number, right? So mass number is equal to total number of neutrons plus protons. Then what about the case of average mass of carbon atom in AMU? So as we already know, average mass of carbon is equal to 12.011 AMU, right? So we are taking the average mass by taking the average of them. We are taking the average mass of all the isotopes present in the case of carbon. So it will be 12.011 AMU. Then what about the case of charge of nucleus in coulomb? So charge of the nucleus can be given as atomic number of protons into electronic charge, Z into E. So it will be equal to the number of protons present in the nucleus into 1.609 to 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So this is not a whole number. Then what about the case of the last one? The atomic mass of one atom of carbon 12 in grams. Again it will be 12.011 grams. So among them the option A, I mean A will be the only whole number in ratio, I mean mass number will be the only one having the whole numbers. So option A will be the correct answer. Is that clear? Small correction is here. If you want to convert the AMU into gram, you need to multiply with 1.605 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. Now we are moving to the next question. This is a very easy question. We just want to identify the molecule is having the atomicity of 4. So as we already know what is the meaning of atomicity, the total number of atoms present in a molecule. So here the options are provided: water, ammonia, methane and carbon dioxide. So which one will be having the atomicity of 4? So again option B, ammonia is the correct answer here. So if you compare the total number of atoms in the case of ammonia, it will be containing 1 nitrogen plus 3 hydrogen atoms. So total atomicity is equal to 4 over here. In the case of water it will be 2 plus 1 3, and for methane it will be 4 plus 1 5, and for carbon dioxide it is equal to 2 plus 1 3. So the option will be correct answer, that is option B, ammonia. Yes. Here is the next question. What is the ratio of number of neutrons present in potassium atom and sulfur atom with a mass number of 39 and 32 respectively? Read the question carefully. One is potassium atom with mass number 39 and sulfur atom with mass number 32. So how we can find out the number of neutrons present in a molecule and present in an element? So this is the representation of potassium atom, right? Potassium atom is having the mass number of 39. Mass number is given here, 39. And as we already know, the atomic number of potassium will be 19. So the total number of neutrons is equal to number of neutrons will be represented by the small letter n is equal to mass number minus atomic number, right? Mass number A minus atomic number Z. So that is equal to 39 minus 19, that is 20, right? Then what about the case of sulfur atom? Sulfur atom is having the mass number of 32 over here and its atomic number is 16. So the number of neutrons is equal to 32 minus 16, that is equal to 16 again. So we need to identify the ratio of neutrons present in the potassium atom and the sulfur atom. So if you are taking the ratio over here, the ratio will be 20:16. Now if you are simplifying here, it will be 5:4. Clear? So option D will be the correct answer. Is there any doubt? Here is the next question. The two immiscible liquids can be separated by. 4 methods are given here by using separating funnel, distillation, filtration and evaporation. So what will be the answer for this question? So option A is the correct answer, that is separating funnel. I hope you may have already studied of the picture of the separating funnel, right? So I will try to draw the structure over here. So this will be the almost similar structure of the shape of the separating funnel. So depending upon the density, there will be different layers are formed for the two immiscible liquids. So for example, if you are taking, okay. So depending upon the density, there will be different layers for the two immiscible liquids. The more denser liquid will be present at the bottom of this will be the more denser liquid, and this will be the less denser liquid. So what you are doing here, whenever you are opening the stopper of this separating funnel, the more denser liquid will be goes down. It can be collected in a beaker or the conical flask. Clear? So this is the method to separate the immiscible liquids with the density difference. Then the distillation is used for the separation of liquids with the difference in boiling point. Then filtration, as we already know, for the solid and liquid substance. We are using normal filter paper to do the filtration. Evaporation, just heating the mixture, we can just separate the substance over there. Now we are moving to the next question. Which of the following does not undergo sublimation? Read the options carefully. Options are provided here: camphor, silica, iodine and ammonium chloride. So the process of sublimation, as we already know, the solid substance is directly converted to gaseous substance without going into the liquid phase, right? So this process is known as the sublimation. And a substance that is undergoing sublimation or which is showing sublimation are known as the sublimates. So here, as comparing the options, you can say that option B will be the correct answer because silica is contained in the silicon dioxide. It does not undergo any sublimation. While others like camphor, iodine, ammonium chloride and naphthalene also example for the sublimates. Naphthalene balls or moth balls. Okay, option B is the correct answer. Now we are moving to the next question. Which of the following is not the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory? So it is one of the important theory based on the atoms and molecules, that is Dalton's atomic theory. We have already seen 4 different postulates, 4 important postulates of the Dalton's atomic theory. So based on that idea, you need to give the answer for this question. Which one will be the incorrect statement regarding the Dalton's atomic theory? So read the options carefully, maybe you will get the multiple answers here. So while you are comparing the first statement, atoms are divisible particles which can be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. This is against the Dalton's atomic theory, right? So Dalton's given the idea that atoms are indivisible particles. They are not divisible. They are indivisible particles and cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. So the first statement itself is the wrong according to Dalton's atomic theory. Then what about the case of second statement? Atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties, as we already know. As the elements changing, they will be having the different properties and they will be having different masses. Then what about the case of third statement? The relative number and kinds of atoms are not constant in a given compound. So maybe you will get confused in the third statement over here. So let's take an example of water molecule, right? If you are taking a water molecule over here, it is understood that it will be containing 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. This is always constant, right? So that is given here. The relative number and kinds of atoms are not constant in a given compound, but according to Dalton, it is understood that the number and kinds of atoms are always constant in a given compound. For example, in the case of water molecule, 2 hydrogen atom and 1 oxygen atom. It is always constant in a compound. So this will be the another incorrect statement regarding the Dalton's atomic theory. What about the last one? All matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. So that's the option A and C are the incorrect answers. Is that clear? Here is the next question, again numerical problem. A solution contains 38 gram of common salt and 362 gram of water. What is the concentration of the solution? Read the question carefully. We need to identify the concentration of solution in terms of percentage. And it is a solution of common salt. Common salt means sodium chloride. Out of 38 gram of common salt, this contains 362 gram of water. So what is the concentration of this solution? So here option A will be the correct answer. So as we already know, in general, the concentration of the solution can be expressed in terms of mass percentage. Right? So how we can calculate the mass percentage? That is equal to mass of the solute divided by mass of complete solution into 100. So what is the mass of solute over here? This is a common salt mixture. It is containing 38 gram of common salt. So mass of solute is equal to 38 here. And what is the mass of solution? Mass of solution means total number of mass of solute plus solvent. So here it is 38 gram of solute. Here it is 362 gram of solvent. So in total we need to take the mass of solution as 38 plus 362 into 100. You will be getting the answer is equal to 9.5%. So option A is the correct answer. Is that clear? The main point you have to keep in mind that if you are asking about the concentration of any of the solution, the concentration of solution can be always expressed in terms of mass percentage. And the mass percentage is given that mass of solute divided by mass of solution into 100. So you can give the given data over there, you will get the correct answer for the concentration of particular solution. Here is our next question. Identify the incorrect statement. Read the options carefully. First option is given, the ratio by number of atoms in water is H/O is equal to 2:1. And the ratio by mass of atoms in ammonia is given that nitrogen is to hydrogen is equal to 17:3. And the ratio by mass of atoms in water is given. Okay, once again, this is carbon dioxide. And the last option is given, all are correct. Okay, let's see what is the answer. So let's see one by one. Then ratio by number of atoms in water. Water, as we already know, H2. H2 means 2 hydrogen atom and 1 oxygen. So 2:1 will be the correct answer. Correct statement here. The ratio by mass of atoms in ammonia is, in the case of ammonia, it is NH3, right? NH3. So what is the mass of nitrogen? That is 14 gram. What is the mass of 3 hydrogen? It is 3 gram, right? 14:3 will be the correct answer here. So this will be the incorrect statement. Then what about the case of third one? The ratio by mass of atoms in carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, as we already know, carbon is having the mass of 12. Then 2 oxygen atom will be having 32. So if you are simplifying here, it will be 3:8. Clear? There is a correction in the question. It is not water, it is carbon dioxide. So this is again correct statement. So the only one incorrect statement regarding here is option B. So answer is option B. Now we are moving to our last question. Which one of the following is a correct statement? So all the given statements are correct, right? Ice provides more cooling effect than the water at 273 Kelvin, as we already know. Then evaporation of a liquid causes cooling. Evaporation means water will be escapes out, so it will be resulting in the formation of cooling. Then increase of pressure decrease the separation between the particles of matter, as we already studied. So this is again true statement. This is again true. Third one is again true. And then what about the case of last one? Applying pressure and reducing temperature can liquefy the gas. So this is again the true statement, which means that all the given statements are correct. Is that clear? So this is all about the total 15 previous year questions from the SCORE paper. So as we already know, the complete 3 chapters of atoms and molecules, matter and surroundings, matter in our surroundings, is the matter around us pure. These will be 3 important chapters for the chemistry grade 9. So you need to focus more on these 3 subjects for the SCORE examination. So I am again giving a gentle reminder about the SCORE examination. As we already know, national level of scholarship examination is conducted by the Sri Chaitanya Academy. It will be applicable for the students from grade 3 to 12. Depending upon the syllabus, you will be getting different papers. Then 100% scholarships can be won up to this amount and compete with the India's brightest students. This is the national level of examination, right? Then cash prizes and exciting gadgets will be provided. Recognition, gadgets and rewards, competitive exam exposure. This is our aim to the students by the SCORE examination. Now, how to register for the SCORE examination? As we already know, maybe you have already registered. Then again, I am giving an idea about that. This is eligible for the classes from 3 to 11 or 12 is already possible. Then mode will be online and offline examination is possible there. Dates are September 28. First exam will be conducted on September 28 and the next exam will be conducted on October 12, 2025. Registration will be free on our website srichaitanya.score.com. So link will be provided in the description. So this is our link which will be provided in the description. So those who are not registered yet, just register now. Before September 26, you need to register for the examination. September 28 is the examination date. So I hope you guys enjoyed the session. If you really like the session, hit the like button, subscribe our channel and share this particular session to your friends also. So for more updates, please subscribe our channel, please follow our channel. So thank you so much all of you. Bye-bye.